Ljudi se okupljaju i udružuju iz raznih razloga. Sport, numizmatika, stripovi, rock'n'roll band, skupljanje leptira, religija, grupni seks. Možete li povjerovati da se neki ljudi udružuju da bi vladali svijetom? Takav je navodno slučaj sa veselom družbom Bilderberg. Ime su dobili po nizozemskom hotelu u kojem su se prvi put sastali 1954. godine. Članovi kraljevskih obitelji, političari, utjecajni poslovni ljudi, članovi obavještajnih zajednica skupili su se da bi se dogovorili oko dugoročnih strateških interesa između SAD-a i Zapadne Europe. Tako je počela tradicija održavanja godišnjih konferencija. Svake godine skupina se sastaje u nekom drugom gradu, a uporni novinar Daniel Estulin posljednjih 15 godina proveo razotkrivajući tajne sastanke skupine Bilderberg. Estulinova knjiga Istinita priča o družbi Bilderberg postala je međunarodna uspješnica. U Španjolskoj je doživjela 13 izdanja, a objavljena je u 53 zemlje. Estulinovim riječima, bez obzira gdje se skupina Bilderberg odluči sastati, uvijek ću saznati o čemu će razgovarati, možete se kladiti u to. Pa, kladimo se, mada nam to nije običaj ovdje, na rubu znanosti. Pozdrav svima. Daniel Estulin je istraživački novinar i autor knjige Istinita priča o družbi Bilderberg. Pa čujmo što je u Bilderbergima iznjedrio u 15 godina istraživanja. Dobar dan.
Good evening. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be in your program.
Jeste li istraživački novinar ili ste i nešto više s obzirom na zaleđe koje nam može omogućiti da vidimo na koji način istražujete Bilderberge?
Well, in fact, I'm not an investigative journalist. Investigative journalists are journalists. They go to school, they study their art, and then they apply it. My background is in military counterintelligence.
Gdje ste radili i u kojoj službi i kada?
I've worked for 12 years with the Russian counterintelligence, and I left it about 5 years ago to join this other organization called Meta Groups. It's a group of people in and out of intelligence and counterintelligence services who are actually working together across the world to stop the Bilderbergers and their cohorts from actually exercising their plans.
Uprkos tome što su Bilderberzi našli svoj put i do novina i do knjiga, mnogi ljudi još uvijek se prvi put sreću s tim pojmom. Objasnite nam tko ili što je skupina Bilderberg, zašto se zove Bilderberg, od kada postoji pod tim imenom.
Well, you know, in the world of international finance, there are those who steer the events and those who react to the events. And while the latter, they're better known, they're greater in numbers, the true power rests to the form. These are the people you never see in the media. And the very center of this a giant global conspiracy sits a group called themselves the Bilderberger Society organizations or club. What they are is an aristocracy of purpose between North American and European elites on the best ways to rule the planet.
Da li su Bilderberzi tek jedna od grupa koje umreženi kontroliraju svijetom ili su možda oni glavna grupa?
Well, actually, they're not the main. They're a very important medium, and they are a medium because through them, a lot of organizations, especially financial and industry interests, meet to exercise their ideology. And that ideology is not one world government or new world order. So many people, unfortunately, especially in conspiracy circles, talk about the ideology of what these people represent is rather one world company limited, where literally one day corporations shall give orders to governments.
Koje biste još grupe spomenuli uz Bilderberge kao važne u toj agendi?
You can mention, obviously, aside from the Bilderbergers, which are more exclusive because they're the smaller in numbers of different known societies. Another one is the Council on Foreign Relations, which is an American version of the Bilderberger organization. Then you have the Trilateral Commission. But along with these three better-known organizations, you have such groups as Nine Wise Men, you have the Cincinnati Club, then you have the think tanks, the foundations, the NGOs, the universities, and all of them are working together towards the same goal.
Što se 1954. dogodilo i gdje? Što je započelo tradiciju sastanaka grupe Bilderberg? Gdje su se prvi put našli?
Well, you see, the Bilderberg organization was founded by this group of people called Synergy International, who were really a Martinist occult secret society. Now, these Martinists, their roots go back to the 1780s, and they were founded as the counterattack to the achievements of the United States American Revolution. And again, it's a medium of bringing together interests of people who share, their common ideology of the world. And that ideology has nothing to do with, nation building. It is rather destruction, wholesale destruction of every nation-state republic on earth with all of its consequences.
Koliko članova broji družba Bilderberg danas? Koliko ljudi se okuplja na tim godišnjim sastancima?
Well, since 1954, when they met for the first time in Oosterbeek in a hotel called the Bilderberg Hotel, which at the time was owned by the Dutch royal family, the number hasn't really changed. It was 67 at the beginning, and then it grew because the number of nations who participated in Bilderberg conferences grew. And now 120 to 130 people participate annually. Out of these, 1/3 of the delegates are from the United States, and the rest are from Europe. And smaller nations, such as Denmark, Spain, Italy, Portugal, they get to bring 3 delegates, one a politician, one a business leader, and one a media representative. Larger nations such as France and Germany and the UK, they get to bring about 6 to 8 different participants. Another thing about Bilderberg is that before, it used to be a NATO alliance, Europe, United States, and Canada. That is until the fall of the Berlin Wall, and now it has also incorporated members from former Warsaw Alliance.
Kakav je profil ljudi koji su članovi Bilderberga, što su oni u svojim zemljama po zanimanju ili po položaju?
Well, again, irrelevant of their position in their countries, what all of them share is an ideology, and that ideology is ideology of, it's an empire. What they're doing is creating an empire. That's what globalization is. That's what, all these multi-state unions are. It's just another word for an empire. And the empire these people are creating is an empire of money, an empire of usury, an empire which goes against, the very basis of what classical culture has represented for the past 2,500 years. And again, individually, you have people who represent the left and the right and the center and the extreme left and the extreme right, and you have the labor is also represented within the organization. You have the most important business leaders there, multi-billionaires, key politicians, European commissioners. European royalty sits at this very big table with all these other members. And finally, they're joined by the leading representatives of international mainstream publications, such as New York Times, Washington Post, Le Monde from France, Grupa from Spain. And that's one of the reasons, we really haven't heard much about these powerful people in the mainstream press.
Koliko sam uspio shvatiti, trudite se biti na svakoj tajnoj Bilderberškoj konferenciji, barem izvana s fotoaparatom u ruci. Je li to točno?
Well, it's. I wish it was, and present is stretching it a little bit, in a sense that yes, I always know where these people meet, but unfortunately, I'm never allowed in, and I do mean unfortunately because I would like to find out, firsthand. We do have excellent sources within Bilderberg organization, and not one but several, and which is how we always know what these people are talking about. And if you go back over the last 10 years, my predictions over 10 years, some of them 5, 6, 7 years in advance, were remarkably accurate, as so many alternative publications have admitted, such as, for example, in 2002 when the Bilderbergs met in the United States. Not only did they decide on the exact date of the war in Iraq, but they also decided to push the oil price up from $18 a barrel to something like $100 a barrel by the end of 2007. And you know what? It hit 100 on the 2nd of January 2008, so that was a pretty good prediction.
Možete li dati još neke primjere stvari koje su dogovorene na sastancima grupe Bilderberg, a potom su nas, običnu populaciju, zatekli kao iznenađenje koju godinu dana kasnije?
Well, another thing is in 2005, they discussed pushing the oil price from $100 a barrel to $150 by middle of